Hello. Oh, let me just mute everyone. Schoolgirl error. So a massive warm welcome everybody to tonight's region training. It is the 26th of October for 5 full days. No, 6 full days, including today, 5 full days now to month end. So really decide where you're at, like in your business. If you're deciding that the month's over, or you're thinking, do you know what, I've got 5 full days, I'm going to make every single day count, because holding back and waiting for next month, as we all know, never ever is good energy, and it never leaves next month feeling as good. So if anyone needs any help at all with month end, I know that we're all just going to be running for it for the end of the month. And just a massive congratulations to Cara. I don't think she's on the call. For promoting to district manager, like in 6 weeks. She is an absolute legend up in Scotland. So huge congratulations to Cara. Right, without further ado, I'm going to hand over to our speaker for this evening, Executive Area Manager, Sally Chapman. I'm super excited I know we're both on a training call on Friday night with Jerry Rosenthal, which was actually epic. I'm going to try and get that recording. And I know that we picked up some really good nuggets from there. So I'm super excited to hand over to you, Sally, if you want to unmute yourself.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm just going to start with a bit of a negative jade, because Jerry's call was not recorded, so we won't be able to get it, which is why I jumped on, and he's just phenomenal. And I think the main point before I go into training is, do you know what, you can hear things so many times, and until Fraser Brooks calls it the bingo moment or the light bulb moment, sometimes you can hear it and it might not sink in or click till later on. So I've got a few notes. This is basically business focused, because obviously we've got free sign up. It is so important that I feel, we should, in 5 days you could transform your business with different people. And I just wanted to go through some little bits of nuggets that have come back to me. Again, I've heard these many of times, and then we kind of forget about it. And the first thing I want to start by saying is, in whatever job you're doing, I can talk about obviously being within education. We are constantly doing training. Like every Tuesday we have training, and it doesn't matter if you've been a teacher for 10 years or for 10 minutes, or if you've been in dental areas. There is basically, the world evolves, and it's so important to evolve with it and listen and getting on the trainings, and sometimes go back to basics. So yes, massive well done for everybody that is on the call tonight. So the first thing I want to talk to you about now, there's lots of virtual events going on this year with COVID, and the first thing that I love about this is how I wanted to run a business. I wanted to do it from home. I wanted to be able to connect with people, and I just wanted to talk to you about little things that I've picked up on by getting to know people that I don't know through virtual events. So Burbage hosted a virtual Christmas something, I can't think, and I got invited to it, and I was just like, oh my god, like what an amazing idea this is, that I literally just messaged her and I was like, can I duplicate what you've done and set on my own? She was like, yeah, of course you can. I did ask obviously if I could do Arbonne there. She was like, we've already got an Arbonne lady, and I was like, no, that's fine, can I duplicate what you've done and set up my own? And she was like, yeah, of course, please do, I've got it from somewhere else. So what I did is I duplicated what she did, and she's charged £5 for people to promote their stalls. So I'm really close with Ros Ward, who is the parish council in Stony Stanton, and I messaged her and said, look, we're gonna run this. Burbage are doing it. We're gonna run a Stony Stanton one. If I charge £5, can I give it back to the village? She was like, yeah. She was like, of course you can. Like, that is amazing. Like, please do that. And that's kind of what I did. And because the layout of it was giving back to the village, I think that gives people a bit of an understanding of you prior to them knowing you, if that makes sense. So you are giving something back, and that's what I believe about Arbonne, is that what you're doing is you're doing it to give something back. And, you know, it's all about the value of what they do. Now, what this has done for me is actually set up a lot of conversations with people I don't know. And I know Jamie, who's on the call, I think, Jamie, I don't know if you want to type in the comments, you've set up one, or is it someone you know set up one, but you've sort of done another one, not actually related to a village, I don't think, but it's brilliant. And do you know what? These groups can go forever. The point of it is that, yes, you're going to get a lot of different businesses in there, but it's about exploring. I'm not saying everybody in them businesses are going to become Arbonne consultants, because they're probably doing other network marketing, but you are going to get people who will refer you for things that they don't do. Sorry, Jamie just put, she's called a mask down, bra off, that's the way we like to shop. So she's just completely gone away from any Christmas thing. And I think, to be fair, like, I will completely rename the group, but it's so good. And I think, you know, everyone, the whole virtual market thing, or however you want to describe it, it's really actually getting you to connect with people that you probably wouldn't, because we can't. And yeah, I just wanted to say that first, and very similar to what Jade's done a video about today about voice noting on Instagram. Again, this is probably giving me the bingo moment of how you speak to people with regards to not knowing them, because you kind of, yeah, giving them a platform to do their own business. So perfect on that one. Right, so business, my top tips. So the first thing, you all got some homework, even if you've been here for 5 minutes. The first thing I want everyone to do is you need to present the Discover Arbonne to your upline within the next week. I don't care if you're like, I've got no idea what I'm doing. You have got to present the Discover Arbonne. And this is something I need to do as well, because, again, this comes back to that weekly training. You might think you're an expert at presenting the Discover Arbonne, which is amazing, but there is nothing wrong with keeping up the content, keeping up your presentation. And I think the point of it is, once you present the business, I think you will naturally, it'll embed into your everyday kind of chat, that you will just be able to talk about it. So that is the first thing I want you all to do. And then from there, this was from Jerry. It was a great, like, he just said it, and straight away I messaged Jade going, oh my goodness, we need to do this exercise, even if it's once a month, or, you know, once every 2 months or anything like that. I was like, everyone needs to keep doing that. So I really want you to write down the Discover Arbonne. If you don't know what it is, or you don't even know where it comes from, please go to your upline. We'll get the presentation out for you. And even if you want to study it, look at it for a bit, try and understand it, that's great. If you've never seen one, maybe ask your upline to present it to you. And that's what I want everybody to do in the next week, is just to do it. And this is very safe environment. This is not about your upline going, oh, you've not done this very well, you've not done that very well. That's not what it's about. We need to breathe the confidence into you to be able to, like, reel it off, like, your tongue very quickly. So I would love everybody to give that a go. The next thing from that is, once you get confident with it, you can record it via Zoom. Now, this is something Jade got us to do ages ago. Like, when I first started, Jade was like, you need to record your DA. And I used to be like, oh God, I don't want to record my DA. Why do I want to record my DA? I don't like looking at myself. Or, you know, that's literally how I was. This can then, basically, this will save you time. This will, like, make your connections with people a lot more easier. So when you start speaking to someone and you're like, hey, can you look at the business? You can just ping off your video, you know, whether you're spending time with the kids, whether you're on a break at work, whether you're off to the gym, like, that valuable time, especially in this virtual environment, will give them the content without them feeling pressured. And this again goes back to Jerry, because I don't know if anyone wants to type in the comments, but how many people do you think say, no, I'm not interested, because they feel they're going to be in a pressured environment? And what you need to do is take that pressure away. Like, we're not there to pressure them into Arbonne. That's not what we do. We just want to share the business. If it's for them, brilliant. If it's not, it doesn't matter. This is about just speaking to people because you don't know what they're going through. Another thing is, how many people have you not approached because you think you're making the decision for them? Yeah, they're not going to be interested in Arbonne. I know I did for a hell of a long time. I was like, oh no, I'm not going to speak to them. They won't be interested in this, but they're very successful. Or no, I don't think they would want to do that. It's not our decision to make. So I would definitely, just record it. We normally do around Christmas, which I hope we do this year. Like a bit of a challenge where we try and get 3 responses a day. So you probably have to message 10 people to get 3 responses. But the 3 responses can be no, yes, maybe. As long as you've got them, that's fine. And it's a really good proactive way of getting your business out there, getting people to look at it. Okay, 3, the launches. So I talk about this as business and parties. So we do say to people, obviously we need to do a business launch, we need to do like some party launches, and that's just to kind of make your close network a little bit aware of what you're doing. That doesn't mean you're going to have them all sign up to be customers or business partners. This is just for people to understand what you're doing. Now, my mum, I'll use as a prime example, she didn't ever get what I was doing. She was just like, she wasn't interested. She wouldn't, if I was like, oh, I've got an album thing tonight, there was no conversation, there was no, and now she's like my biggest fan, bless her. But that was a good way. And what I did, we used to host DAs at hotels, or I can't remember, Discover Arbonne's once a month, where people would present. And I was just like, do you know what, Mum? Why don't you just come with me? Like, there's no way I was taking my mum for my mum to be an Arbonne consultant. But I was like, if she comes to see other people present the business, I know she would understand it a little bit more. And then, again, with me, if I know my mum's behind me, then I know I can do anything. And it would have been anything to do with like my training growing up. Like if my mum got it, my mum was like, yeah, like, yeah, do it, pursue it. It actually gave me the confidence to continue. And that was like my biggest fear. I was like, I need to get my mum to understand what I'm doing. Because she was just a bit like, I don't get it, but she wasn't negative, she just never spoke about it. So that was the first thing that I did. So we talk about online parties. Now, I know you've probably heard this a million times, that we talk about how, you need to explore other people's networks and getting people to host parties. Now, I always recommend that what we need to do is not make them think that it's a lot of work for them. Now, Jade, I think you've done quite a few of these where you just basically set everything up, you send a template to the host that can send out to their network and a link for them to join. So again, it's not where you're adding people into a group that have not been asked and shutting the door, because that's when people are like, oh God, it's like putting people into a room and closing the door saying you're not leaving, and it just doesn't make people feel at ease. So definitely get them to send the link, and then if they want to join, it's completely up to them. I would recommend that you do this with parties and with business, and even if you've been in the business 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, do you know what? Go back and redo it. Even if you do it with the same people. I've gone back to people and gone, yeah, I definitely presented to you like earlier in the time, and I had no idea what I was doing. I know I didn't do it justice. I was definitely all over the place. Would you be open to look again? Because I feel a lot more confident. So please make sure you look at exploring that. Like, I've been there. I just want to say I've been there so many times where I'm doing really well in the business, and then I'm like, oh God, I can't do anymore. Like, I've spoke to everybody that I know. I've tried to get into every, like, I can't do this anymore. And I haven't. I'm just like, it's the universe testing me to see if I'm willing to learn, train, and explore a little bit more, which you do. And the top tip that I always learned from Fraser Brooks, I believe, I love Fraser Brooks, he said, the only way that you do lose in network marketing is if you quit. It's never going to be easy. It is network, so you're going to have to work. It's not just handed on a plate. but yeah, if you give up, and I want to just share with everybody, I was literally close to giving up at Christmas. I think I've shared this a million times. And I was like, I'm really bored of being a district manager. I've been a district manager for like nearly 3 years. I'm just bored, so I either need to move or I need to quit. And it just made me promote. So sometimes, like, I am a little bit hard on myself, but you know, it did work. It did make me move, and it did make me work my business. Also, please be really disciplined with your own time, because you can make R1 seem like it's taking so much time up. If you are very effective, we talk about the power hour or miracle mornings. If you're really strict, if you did like a miracle morning and then another hour at night time, like 2 hours a day, like that is more than enough to grow this business. It absolutely is. The one thing that I fell short of in the beginning was the tracker. I really struggled to relate to the tracker that was given to me. I was like, I just can't deal with it. It just seemed too much. But there is so many trackers out there. You can actually make your own tracker. There's a little graph that I can post in the group that I sent out to my team last month, and it literally gives you 15-minute breakdowns of like 4 business apps, 4 party apps, 4 making friends, like 15 minutes to like make new connections, and follow-ups. Obviously the fortune is in the follow-up, so definitely do that, and also track it. I think I gave Rachel Fit a heart attack not that long ago, because she was talking to me about clients' orders. She was like, how do you know? She actually asked me a question. I was like, oh, I don't know. She's like, how do you track your customers' orders? I was like, oh, I just check my bank account to see who's paid me. She's like, oh God, you need to write it down in an order book. You need to know who's paid you what, and you know. And I was like, yeah, you're so right. I don't know why I don't ever do that. All I do is look in my bank to see who's paid me, to remind me of what they've ordered. So bad. I am like the worst role model for organisation sometimes, but then I can be really good at other things. So definitely get a book, definitely do a tracker, because you'll be a lot more organised. And also with your customers' orders, it helps you when you look back. You'll be able to like think, oh, okay, like, you know, they might be ready to order something now. You can just check in with them, because I know that I've messaged people before and it's probably been like 6 months, and they've, you know, used their moisturiser, and they're like, oh yeah, I just went to Debenhams and got a different one, so I'm all right at the minute. Or I've just picked something up at the airport, and I'm like, oh damn it, because I wasn't organised enough. So if you can get really organised with your business, you know, it will be a lot more easy running. Okay, so last tip number 5, the Jerry approach. So I've not been on Jerry's trainings for ages. I didn't know he opened it up, actually. Again, this is probably me not reading messages properly. And I didn't know he opened up a training call once, is it month, Jade, or once every 3 months? I'm not sure. I've typed in the comments.
It wasn't, yeah, it wasn't for a while for Fiona's Nation. It's only just more recently become available for Fiona's Nation.
Perfect. That's why then. Made me feel a little bit better that I've not missed messages. But he's just so inspirational. Like everything you give to him, everything you say, what do you do in this situation when someone said this, or what do you do in this situation? He literally spins it like that, and you're like, oh yeah, why am I overthinking that? Why am I making that so much harder? And I'll give you a few examples. But he spoke about the business and the wording and asking people to look at the business. He said the worst case situation, as he approaches someone, is like, hi, as you know, I do this business, or he'll approach it like, hi, I'm just wondering if you will look at my business. The worst case situation is you might find some invaluable information that might improve your health. Does that sound fair? And he's very like, just that, and he's very open to say, do you know what, 50% of them are still going to say no, but actually because you are giving them that warmth, you are giving them the opportunity to say no, that actually you're getting a much better response than just, I don't know, let me try and think of something that I probably did in the past. I'm like, hi, can you look at my business? Like, it's I don't know, very blunt and just like, hi, can you look at my business? I've started an online business. No, I've probably done that before, actually. I can categorically tell you I've done that before. And he said he's only ever learned this from his mistakes. And that was the bingo moment for me, because I know it's risky putting yourself out there and you're feeling like you don't want to fail. But we teach the kids every day that you've got to fail forward. You've got to fail to learn from it. And it can feel awful, but actually you're making massive progress. Okay, so again, this comes down to like your business each month. I always tell my team, if you only do 1 QV more than what you did last month, or 10,000 QV more than you did last month, that is progress. And you need to not be hard on yourself, because you can sustain something that can grow and grow and grow. Jerry also spoke about leading from the front, and I shared, not got it with me, I probably should have brought it down with me. I found a diary back in 2018 when I was a team of 1, and I'd give myself some crazy targets. Oh, I love that quote. You never lose, you either win or you learn. Absolutely. So I'd put in, like, for myself to do in 1 month, like 9,000 QV. And, Jade, bless her, probably at the time was just like, yeah, right, hun. But good that you're striving forward. But she probably thought, yeah, okay, so what are you doing to get this 9,000? And I'd be like, well, I'm doing this. And I broke it all down. And it was really inspirational, actually, because I wrote a dreams list, and it said I had like business, dreams or goals, personal, holiday, lifestyle, debt. Like, I really wrote down everything that I wanted to achieve. And when I look back, I'd never looked back at it just because I came across it because I was clearing out my kitchen. And I just sat there and I was like, oh my God, I've done that. One was fitness. I wanted to improve my fitness. Well, during COVID, I've never ran in my life. Like, running was something that I was like, can't run, won't ever be interested in running. And during COVID, I'm like running 5K every week now because that's what I did. And it was just really weird that I then came across this book and I could just tick it all off. And I was like, oh my God, like, write them down, like really write them down, because they are subconsciously there. Arbonne is, more than just a business. You can completely transform your life, but it will come down to you. You will feel deflated at times, but that is the universe testing you. And I just want you to know that every single person in this business would have come across that at some point, and that for me is the most important thing. There is nobody at the top of this business that you can speak to and can go, yeah, no, that never happened to me, because they wouldn't say that. They would be like, yeah, that happened to me. And I think that is about it from me this evening. Apologies, a little bit shorter than 45 minutes. But I'm more than happy to open up for questions or conversations or anything like that. But yes, Arbonne is very simple, and I know that I've overcomplicated it in my time because I've wanted to do things different ways. And it's not that different ways don't work, but the process and what you need to do will always remain the same. So again, I would not have learnt that if I didn't go off and fail to come back on track. So yes, that's it from me. Thank you very much.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much. And there's a quote that I always think of when you say, talking about failing forwards or having, what did you call it, disappointment, like when you're feeling that like frustration. And it's Jim Roney who says, I wish for you to have bigger problems tomorrow, because I wish for you to be a bigger person to be able to deal with those bigger problems. And I think every time when you experience something that is like frustrating or disheartening, or you're just like, oh, like, why is this not happening for me? I always just then sort of have a stop and think, do you know what? I'm going to deal with this because I know that I'm going to be able, like, this is going to make me a better leader or a better consultant or a better, I don't know, you know, whatever it is, better mom, better wife. And I think if we can take that stance on it, it just really takes that like emotional trauma away from stuff sometimes.
No, absolutely. I mean, I always talk to the kids as well at school. So like when I qualified to be a teacher, I did it in 2008, which was the biggest quota crunch ever. So when I was going for jobs after I completed, you know, you were getting people that were like big chief execs in companies that had been made redundant, but they had a degree. So they were like, oh, we're all going to go into teaching because that's secure. That's not going to make me redundant. And you know, I was really up against it. I travelled all around the country. I was prepared to move, leave Leicester. I went for so many jobs, and you know, I was getting to the point where the feedback would be, oh, do you know what? You were really good, and so was the other lady, but we had to put it down to where you trained. You trained in Cod, she trained in London, so we went with that. I was like, I'd rather you tell me that I was useless than. And I was like, Mum, I can't do this anymore. I was like, this training, this teaching malarkey just isn't for me. And I just could have given up. And Mum was like, just keep going, just apply for one more job, just apply for one more job. And do you know what? If I hadn't have done that, then I wouldn't be where I was now. And I think that is just the important bit, that I think you're right. As much as, not that I think Joe's going to have saying this, but as much as, you know, we would love network marketing, or your journey in life or anything to follow that road, you must have all seen the picture where it shows you that you do this, it's up, it's down, it's round, it's this, and it's that takes you forward. And it's so important that when you feel like that, please reach out. Actually, that's probably the first thing to say, because I definitely probably didn't, and I would go feel sorry for myself, and I'd be like, oh, I'm going to mute the WhatsApp because I just can't deal with it today, or what. And actually I could, I just needed to get over myself and understand that everybody in this business goes through it. Jade's story I always love talking about, because she went from not maintaining an area to like regional vice president in a month. And I think that to me was really key information, that you know, you've just got to grow, you've just got to grow with it and go with it. And I talk about riding the wave. Yeah, just ride the wave. You just got to go with it and just try not to take it like you're a failure. And no, that's really easy to say, because everyone wants to succeed in life, of course they do. But it's definitely, you're on the journey. And I think when you hit that disappointment that Jade spoke about, that everything's happening. Fiona says something, when you think nothing's happening, everything is happening. That's when a big shift is going in your life. And you know, you might not see it for another couple of weeks or even a month, but yeah, it's really important to just keep going, definitely.
What I thought I'd just quickly do, because you mentioned about the DA, and just quickly run over the importance of that and the reasons why. So the DA is basically a discover arb on it. It's short term for basically you're explaining what the business is. So we have these weekly events that we're doing, but a lot of the time, actually the person that you're talking to doesn't want to hear me explain what the business is. They don't want to hear Sally. They want to hear you, because they know you, they know your voice, and they want to know what it is from you. But actually recording a video eventually, or learning it, even just practicing in front of your upline, just simply means that you were just getting a better understanding of Arbonne. It's going to bridge your belief in the business, but also in the industry. And actually, the whole point of you sharing that business opportunity, I know we talk about, you know, isn't actually necessarily for that one person, but they might know somebody this business could help. And the way that I put that into context is, if you were a tiler, you can't just immediately think, right, well, my mum's going to have a bathroom tiled, my dad's going to have a bathroom tiled, my brother, my sister, because they probably don't need the bathrooms tiled. But what I can do is I can share with them what the point of difference is, you know, what my business is about, that I do bathrooms, I do this and that, because they might know somebody that actually needs their bathroom doing. So sometimes if you just look beyond the point of you thinking, I'm asking them because I desperately want them to join my team, or I desperately want them to be a client, we're asking and sharing it because that's what we do. That's basically becoming a professional in network marketing. But they get a better understanding of A, that you're really in it for the game, like you're being a professional. But B, like when they think of somebody that says, oh my God, my skin's so bad, or I'm really bloated, or I've got no money, or I'm just so stressed out at the time because I've got no time at home with the kids, they're going to think of you because you're the one that sent them that video just for feedback, or you sent them that video to get there to see if they do know anyone at the time, you know. So basically recording that video or learning it is a really priceless thing. And I've just brought it up actually on my screen just to show you actually how simple it is, because I did a video actually following this script, and this script's available on the source. Just pulled it up. I don't know if I can. No, it's not that one. Sorry, guys. Picture of skin. Where is it now? Just had it. There's our one for you. There you go. Can you see that? So this is actually available on the source, everybody. And actually, when I recorded the video on Zoom, or I practiced it, I had my phone there and I practiced it to my upline. I just simply read this. I read it a few times before I practiced, but actually just reading it is explaining the business. You know, Arbonne's a health and wellness company for over 4 decades of history. Our brand philosophy, embrace. You can just highlight bits and make it your own. And behind like the camera, I just had this, you know, what if you could earn a little extra money? What if you could be your own boss? Did you know that side hustles are really big? Direct selling is UK's largest provider of part-time opportunities. You can go and just use this. It's 2 pages. You know, you can show them this documents and how people can get started. It doesn't need to be a big, you know, 10-slide version. But if you can print this off and read it every single night and just have a go at practicing it, I definitely recommend that, because our profession is to learn this business opportunity, learn this business presentation, and just share it with other people and learn about the products and share them with other people. That's your job done. We just continually do that. It's dead simple. It's not always easy because sometimes we get no's, but it's simple, and that's all we have to do. And just take that, yeah. Anyway, so if anyone wants me, I'll send this in the group, but I think it'll be a really great chance. You know, for me, I just made sure I learned this as soon as possible, to be able to move forward, record your video, and then when you are out with the kids, like Sally said, leveraging your time. You've got a link that you can just send to somebody without you having to, you know, if they just want to see a video or whatever. So yeah, hopefully that helps everybody.
Just on leveraging your time, this is another thing. If any of you have got a group, and I'm sure you probably know this, you know, I sit on Friday night normally, only because it's the time at the moment that I kind of get to myself. And I will, whether I'm in the bath or anything, I will schedule my posts in my group for the week. So if you are really busy, do 12-hour shifts, or you know, you want something to be posted at a certain time on your group, you can schedule it in at a time that is convenient for you, and it will post on your social media at that date and that time. So every Sunday I always do a party, but I've scheduled it Friday. So actually normally at 8 o'clock on a Sunday, I'm probably just literally having my last minute family time with Frankie. We're probably in the back, had a tired weekend, but my party's still going ahead. And as soon as she's gone down, I can just pick up any comments. I'm a big believer in that. Something I've always stuck by. And again, I know Emma is really good on social media information, but one thing that always stuck in my head is that, do you know what? You can't just post something and expect somebody to purchase it. You need to see something at least 3 to 5 times for them. You know, you'll see something, you'll be like, oh, I'm interested, and you'll forget about it. And you see it again, you'll be like, oh yeah, I really need to go and look at that website. I've done it myself. This could be anything to do with Alton Tower deals, or, you know, last week I was desperate to get Les Mis tickets because they're doing a performance at Christmas. Completely forgot it because I didn't put my alarm on my phone, and when I went on the next day, they'd sold out. So it's really important about exposure, and to not feel disheartened if you posted something and no one interacted with it. That doesn't mean people aren't seeing it. So definitely just, you know, schedule a time. Another thing that I did that I might repost is a schedule. So if you work like myself, I have an Excel spreadsheet where I block out where I'm at work, when I've got meetings, when I have family time, when I'm sleeping, when I've got me time, when I'm, you know, and in that's where I slot in my Arbonne. So, you know, even if it's 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, and throughout the week, I can work with that. It's like, Aaron goes to the gym on a certain night. He's actually started taking Frankie with him. I know this sounds bizarre, but he was like, I want to do that so that you've actually got a good few hours at Arbonne, and then it frees up, you know, the rest of the week or things like that. So that's really helped us as a family, because I can sometimes really dip in and out, and you know, on a night time when I probably should be talking to Aaron, I can be like, oh, I'm just going to do some more Arbonne, and he's like, hello, and I'm like, oh yeah, sorry. So that kind of structure's really worked for us. When he used to work away, you know, and whether I had Frankie or I hadn't, I knew that literally most nights when I got in bed at 9 o'clock, I'd probably sit and do Arbonne for 2 hours a night, because I had no responsibility. But I know that's obviously changed and evolved now. So again, some sort of structure, you know, may work better for you and your family as well.
Amazing. Has anyone got any questions? We can end and get ready for 9 o'clock. Thank you so much, Sally. That was amazing. Just really good to recap over what we need to do daily, and I love that. I think we'll set up a challenge for November where it is a case of just getting 3 responses a day, and everyone, you know, aiming for that 3 responses, because that really is the compound effect. If you can just message people to get 3 responses a day, whether it's a yes, no, or a maybe, honestly, you will see your business, I promise you, you will just see your business change. And a lot of the time we're not seeing our business move because we're just not asking, we're not reaching out, we're not networking, and that's all it is. As soon as you do that, I'm seeing it in my business now, the compound effect massively helps, and that just makes you feel so good too. So
absolutely. Sorry, just a closing thing, because I always think, like Jade always said, like, we are the messengers. It's not a personal attack. Like, I still get 2 for Tuesday text messages from Domino's every Tuesday. Probably never purchased a pizza for a while, but you know, I don't get the because they message me saying, you're asking if I want pizza again. I'm just like, no, I'm all right, thanks. Or yeah, I might get it. So it is just being a messenger and just letting people know what we've got on offer, what is available. And I think, Jade, sorry, just changing the subject, it might be worth us, you know, when we used to do the training on the 7 skills, I'm wondering if we might go back to the we've got a lot more new consultants, I think, from the last time we did it.
Yeah.
Where someone takes on a chapter, I think that would be really beneficial.
Yeah, I definitely recommend 7 skills is Eric Worre. So GoPro, basically, he talks about 7 skills of being network marketing. So if you're new, or if you're not new, or if you haven't read this book for a while, I just think we should all get on Eric Worre GoPro. You can listen to it on Audible or read it, and it's basically you becoming a professional in this industry. It's about you being really good. If you have a job, if you're a hairdresser, if you're a beauty therapist, if you're a teacher, you want to be good, you want to be committed. I imagine a lot of you are that, because you've already decided to step into another business venture with Arbonne. For me, he talks about being excellent at this industry and not giving the industry a bad name that other people do get. So definitely, I think we should all download that, and then we can task people on training maybe on the skills, because I think that is so good. Great idea. Okay, well, let's end the Zoom here. Thank you, everybody, for getting on. Well done for showing up for your business, being disciplined. Absolutely love it. You're all legends, and I'll see you on the other side at 9 p.m. Goodbye.